Another opponent you'll have during this brief run is one that really stuck out like a sore thumb for me. You're going to work against Ox Baker in a 6-man tag team match on September 14th of 1984. I mean, holy shit, Ted, Ox Baker, what an icon the guy is.
Yeah. And a funny guy too, and he was hilarious. Thank goodness he was a pretty nice guy too.
Yeah, monster of a man.
Monster of a man. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
How much of his reputation as a heel were you aware of? Like, do you know much about his history and the stuff that he got into?
Not really.
So he had the heart punch as his finish, if you remember that. And apparently he punched a guy at one point with the heart punch. And a couple days later, the guy died of a heart attack. Now, obviously, it wasn't his fault. This was a pre-existing condition, and it was a worked punch. But this guy dies, and so Ox Baker took credit for it. And he said, my heart punch killed this guy. And so I can't remember who. It was Ernie Ladd. He was working with Ernie Ladd, and I want to say it was in Chicago or Milwaukee or something. And I guess he's got him in the ring and he's giving him these repeated heart punches. And this is after he, quote unquote, killed a man.
Yeah.
And so he started a legitimate riot in this arena and like barely escaped with his life. Just like, man, such a cool old school heel. And it's really interesting. I love hearing that you got an opportunity to work with an icon like Ox Baker.
Well, yeah. And he was kind of a crazy guy anyway. And Ernie Ladd, hey, Ernie Ladd is no slouch.
No.
Ernie Ladd, I mean, played professional football. I think he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Ernie Ladd was also a good wrestler and a really intelligent guy in terms of, he became a booker for Bill Watts in Mid-South Wrestling. Yeah.
And he had the famous line for King Kong Bundy. Bundy, you're stealing money.
Yeah. You're stealing money from Mid-South, Bundy. And I loved Ernie. I took Ernie about 40 miles south of Jackson on the way down to New Orleans. There's a little town called Crystal Springs. And if you get off that first exit and take a left and go through the light, just on your left, there's a little place there. Louise's Barbecue. Well, Louise is a member of my wife's mother's side of the family, and this barbecue was like it's a home recipe. That's and that's the only place you're going to get it like that. And it's not. It's hard to describe. Usually you think about barbecue and you think about the red sauce and it's dripping off the ribs and all that stuff. This is barbecue that's cooked into the meat, and it's second to none. But anyway, all of that to say, I took Ernie Ladd there one time, and after that, because this is when he was booking for Bill Watson in Mid-South. He said, DiBiase, he says, if I know you're coming from home and you have to come by Crystal Springs and you don't stop and bring me some of that barbecue, I'm going to find you. He was a great guy. And he was a good worker too.
Hell of a man.
That size, he was good.
Hell of a man.
Yep.